Here's Peter Hamill.
Call 1FM.
Call 1FM, line 246, Gary Newman.
Hiya.
What are your views on fox hunting and humanity? Thanks.
As far as fox hunting is concerned, I'm totally against it.
Do you agree that basically a fox is like a football, and that the hunters are basically charging after a red furry ball, but it's a ball that can run or outwit a dog, and it's a ball that the players won't head or kick, but they'll rip it to pieces with their teeth, baying and howling and smearing their faces with guts?
Yeah, I think it's very much along those lines, yeah.
Right. OK, Gary, each call can channel some funds in one direction or another. It can either go to the breeder of slow foxes in Gloucestershire, slow especially so they can be hunted, or it can go towards the manufacturer of some protective clothing saboteurs put on foxes to protect them against the dogs.
Really? I didn't know there was any... Oh, well, it goes for the foxes then.
It goes for the fox... What, the protective clothing?
To protect the foxes, yes, absolutely. I didn't know there was any such thing.
Yeah, it's kind of a little jacket made out of canvas. It's very much like the kind of jacket that people use when they're cutting up wood with a chainsaw.
How on earth do they get it onto the foxes?
Well, the saboteurs get it onto the foxes because some of them, they go like... people tickle trout. Have you ever come across that?
I have heard of that.
You know what happens there?
No.
You put your hand in the river and you stroke the fish in the same way as the current of the water.
Yeah.
And so the fish doesn't actually notice the hand is touching it, and then you can just flip it out of the water with your hand.
Oh, really?
It's an extraordinary thing. People can do that with foxes. There's a different system, but basically if you walk towards them very carefully, and I think if you walk round them in a circle, then they're not sure that you're getting closer with each time you go round.
Yeah.
And saboteurs can certainly get close enough to put on the little jacket.
That's excellent, isn't it?
It's great. I mean, I think that's one of the best things about this, is that it is excellent.
Yeah.
Gary, thanks a lot.
My pleasure.
Still to come, Gary Newman's mum.
Hello, this is Bruno Brooks.
On fox hunting and humanity.
This is Bruno Brooks. I've been taking drugs in the middle of the night.
No. Okay, keep checking. Hey, did you see that thing in the paper about trying to make tennis more interesting?
Oh, God, yes.
Yeah, by altering the aerodynamics of the balls or something.
Yeah.
Got to be better ways of making tennis more interesting. Like, if you're allowed to play with a racket and a gun.
Yes. How about if a player is rude to the umpire can force them to play with a snooker cue?
Yeah. Or if they had it on the racket, they had to play with fireworks coming out of the handle of the racket. So they go and there's just like fireworks flying out the end.
Blasted into the face of the crowd. How about a rogue ball boy is appointed either side of the court, and they have 5 goes of this ball boy, and what the ball boy can do is, just as one of the players is about to serve, just go up to the player about to serve and just push them.
Or if you're allowed, it'd be great if you were allowed to serve at a ball boy. And if you hit him, then it didn't count as a wasted serve.
Yeah. How about a large, fat, naked woman sitting in the middle of the court playing with big toys? Just sitting there playing with toys.
Just by the net?
Yeah.
Actually on the court?
Yeah.
Or the umpire, because he's in a high chair.
Yeah.
He'd have to come on in baby clothes.
Yeah.
Be fed.
And could he go like, 11:40? Yeah.
Yeah, as long as he was understood, yeah.
Right. How about big traps under the court?
Like on a stage?
So you'd have like grass turfs in the area, and you wouldn't know, and all of a sudden so basically, sort of somebody runs forward to serve, and they just disappear into the ground.
Because you can operate it.
Yeah.
Or someone on your trainer.
Yeah.
Can operate it. Or a circular tennis court.
Good idea. What, with the circular net?
In the middle.
Yes. Or around them.
No, in the middle.
In the middle. What, like those little cages they
like
have
a
around
tree
trees?
guard. Yeah.
Very good.
It's like the sport, and I suppose if you give them drugs, give the players drugs.
Yeah.
Because it's like the British athletes, all the names are coming out, the British athletes who use drugs. If they were allowed to use drugs, I mentioned this before, but if they were allowed to use drugs, you could have brilliant events like the hop, skip and marathon.
How about Coke, right? They give them Coke at the beginning of the at the marathon. And so they've all taken a line of Coke, and then they just start running like hell, so after about 100 metres they all just collapse.
But they all sprint off on the marathon. Or the hallucinating hurdles. It's just a straight track.
Yeah.
And they give them all a drop of acid. And they say, okay, this track is covered in hurdles.
Yeah.
And then you just watch all these men running around and leaping over things that they can see that you can't. Of course, they have in the Olympics, they have horse events anyway, don't they?
Horse, you mean...
They have... what else do they have?
In the Winter Olympics, they have snow.
Speed skating.
High jump. High.
The Department of Transport has just announced that Heston services have been stolen this evening. Police launched an emergency search at 4 o'clock this afternoon after being phoned by a stunned motorist who had pulled off the motorway for petrol and found himself driving around on a large patch of bare earth. An angry Heston bigwig says the police could have saved his station. As early as yesterday evening, we were reporting the loss of a refreshment area, but no one would listen, he stormed. Heston is the 5th service station to have disappeared in the last fortnight, and motorway detectives fear this could be the work of international forecourt hustlers who export complete, fully staffed garages for installation in foreign deserts. Police say they have no idea how the thefts were achieved, but several witnesses remember seeing a man in overalls working his way around the edge of the site with a pair of scissors.
Paul!
You've got them?
Yeah, I've got them, Chris.
3?
All 3.
Okay, we'll hear those in a minute. Meanwhile, call 1FM with Peter Hamill.
Call 111 FM.
Fox hunting and the wretched slosh of the human soul. It's Gary Newman's Mum Beryl. Hello!
Hello there.
Thanks very much for joining us indeed. Now, what's your opinion?
Oh, I hate it. I think it's terrible.
I'd like to ask you your opinion of fox hunting in towns now we have urban foxes.
Well, it's just, I mean, it causes so much other damage, doesn't it? I mean, imagine the poor fox anyway.
Yeah.
But, you know, through your garden, I mean, your children are out there.
Sometimes
I can't
playing by
understand
the
it.
washing line.
That's right.
What problems do you think will crop up with fox hunting in the town? It is, after all, the first time it's been allowed.
Well, I think there's going to be accidents. I think people's pets are going to be, like, caught up in it all.
Do you think they'll get run over by horses?
Oh, I do. I think, well,
Oh.
it's got to, isn't it? Because they just really go...
They go hell for velour.
Yes.
What would happen to a small dog being kicked in the face by a hoof?
Well, it's got to be fatal, isn't it? I mean, I've actually seen that.
Would you be prepared to run around with a syringe, putting a little animal like that out of its misery if it had been run over by a hunt?
I think I'd do whatever I could to try and save it, but I suppose in the end of the day, yes, I would if it stopped its suffering.
Right, so if Keith Chegwin gave you a syringe, you would put that dog out of its misery?
It would take a lot of courage, but I think, yes, I would.
You would. You'd hold your breath and do that.
Yes.
Obviously, fox hunting would not be so bad if the fox were bigger.
Yes, I don't think that perhaps the hounds would be so quick to go after it.
What about if it was the size of a cow?
It's got to help, hasn't it?
Beryl, thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, bye-bye.
Up next, Paul Garner with childish announcements. Paul.
Yeah, hi.
A horrible great cyst you've got there on your stomach.
Yeah,
Weeping
sorry.
boil.
Yeah, it's
bubonic plague.
unfortunate bubonic plague.
How long have you got?
Probably about 24 hours.
Just while you got these in then?
Yeah, got them all.
So you got them all? You got
yeah,
3?
Yeah, another successful
nice
mission
one.
out there.
Nice
today.
one. Okay, so the first Tano announcement you got read out at Heathrow was...
Mr. fucking bus.
As in...
Mr. fucking bus.
It left the stop
It left
just
the-
as you were coming up.
Yeah. It's big.
Mr. Fagenbus recently arrived from Stockholm. Please go to the meeting point. Mr. Fagenbus, please go to the meeting point.
She's very mature,
She was a nice woman.
which helps. Okay, number 2. What was the separation between these?
How long?
Yeah.
Oh, minutes. Minutes.
Minutes later, she said...
Parlov Dagsmark.
Parlov Dagsmark, please contact airport information. Parlov Dagsmark, please contact airport information for a telephone call.
Okay, so when you gave this to her, she just said, yes, sir, yes, Parlov Dagsmark.
She wrote it down, repeated it, and then went straight to the microphone.
And number 3,
You revolt me.
she bought that.
She said, you revolt me.
You revolt me. You revolt me. Recently arrived from Egypt Air from Cairo. Please contact airport information to take a telephone call.
Thanks, Paul.
Thanks, Chris.
Can we finish with that noise?
What, this?
Yeah.
Anything else?
Okay, so what we'll finish with, we'll finish with Keith Richards falling over in a recording studio, followed by that noise. Just going to let you know, but if you're in London, all of next week, R.E.M. album is not selling too well, so Michael Stipe is making a special visit. He'll be dressed up as a monster and running up and down Oxford Street saying, I'm a monster, I'm a monster. And he'll be there to sign copies of the LP Monster. But remember, it's only the first 20,000 fans, so do be quick. Oh, yeah, so I've got to have Keith is falling over in a recording studio.
Yeah, okay, man. Oh, shit. Yeah.
That'll do. Thank you. Do that again. That's it.
Actually notice the hand is touching it, and then you can just flip it out of the water with your hand.
Oh, really?
It's an extraordinary thing. People can do that with foxes. There's a different system, but basically if you walk towards them very carefully, and I think if you walk around them in a circle, then they're not sure that you're getting closer with each time you go round.
Yeah.
And saboteurs can certainly get close enough to put on a little jacket.
Here's Peter Hamill.
Call 1FM.
Call 1FM, line 246, Gary Newman.
Oh, yeah.
What are your views on fox hunting and humanity? Thanks.
As far as fox hunting is concerned, I'm totally against it.
Do you agree that basically a fox is like a football, and that the hunters are basically charging after a red furry ball, but it's a ball that can run or outwit a dog, and it's a ball that the players won't head or kick, but they'll rip it to pieces with their teeth, baying and howling and smearing their faces with guts?
Yeah, I think that's very much along those lines, yeah.
Right. OK, Gary, each call can channel some funds in one direction or another. It can either go to the breeder of slow foxes in Gloucestershire, slow especially so they can be hunted, or it can go towards the manufacturer of some protective clothing saboteurs put on foxes to protect them against the dogs.
Really? I didn't know there was any... Oh, well, it goes for the foxes then.
It goes for the foxes, what, the protective clothing?
To protect the foxes, yes, absolutely. I didn't know there was any such thing.
Yeah, it's kind of a little jacket made out of canvas. It's very much like the kind of jacket that people use when they're cutting up wood with a chainsaw.
How on earth do they get onto the foxes?
Well, the saboteurs get it onto the foxes because some of them, they get like... you know, people tickle trout. Have you ever come across that?
I have heard of that.
You know what happens there?
No.
You put your hand in the river and you stroke the fish in the same way as the current of the water.
Yeah.
So the fish doesn't